Welcome to North Bransholme. 5 years ago, North Bransholme tenants voted for Riverside to be their landlord. This film celebrates everything that has been achieved so far. Since 2010, Riverside has invested over £18.5 million in the estate.
One of the big issues we had up here on this estate was essentially a lack of a strategy around how the future would look. So the area was blighted by in excess of a fair few hundred, and we're talking, I'd say, about 400 long-term empty properties, of which the majority were either steel boarded up or boarded up with ply, and a lot of those had been vandalised. So as you could imagine, walking around the estate, where you've got roughly about 1,600 properties, add another 500 or so that are boarded up, it was quite significant. So we embarked on a big improvement piece of work in 2011, and that entailed some demolitions for properties that were no longer viable. But more importantly for us was retaining in excess of 160 properties and bringing those back to lettings for local people to use.
We have also brought 14 boarded up bedsits back into use. These received national attention due to them being seen as Riverside's can-do approach to tackling the bedroom tax issue.
One of the things we inherited when we inherited the estate was over 30 to 40 linked bedsits. In those areas we were experiencing loads of antisocial behaviours. So we came up with a solution where we demolished some of them that we thought were uneconomical to improve, and the others we turned them into one-bedroom houses.
Gillian has recently moved into one of the converted bedsits.
I came and had a look, and I just couldn't believe my luck, and I've been offered this little property and I absolutely love it. When you're only on a limited income, I worked, and it was sort of like a big chunk out of my wage. I could just feel myself getting into more and more debt, and I thought if I didn't do something, I'd end up in a lot of trouble. And I'm here and it's the best thing I've done. It's absolutely perfect for me. It's not cold. I think what they've done, it's nice. I've got a little garden. It's real quiet, it's nice. Everybody is so friendly. People from like Riverside help me out. No, just do it, do you know?
Yeah.
I do feel like it's transformed my life just moving here.
It's been a real success story because what it has done is it's challenges to look at some innovative ways of introducing different types of accommodation on the estate, which hasn't been done elsewhere in the city. And it's also got national recognition. We achieved the Riverside Star Award for challenging the conventional in November 2014.
Richard, it's great to see the progress that you're making with the Pennine Rambler.
It's been a fantastic journey. Bobbin Road Church, where I'm the vicar, has been on the estate since Bransholme was built, so 1968. We were able to organise for the installation of this kitchen. Kingston Communications have helped us put the computers in for the online centre as well. And then if we can get the other side refurbed, then...
So I think you've got lots of groups, haven't you, just waiting for that community hall to be transformed into a usable space.
Well, absolutely, and you know, we started a toddler group last year, and that was full to capacity within the first month, and still is. My goal is that the whole thing becomes an absolutely thriving community hub that's open, you know, probably 6 days a week, I should imagine. And because it's Bransholme and people do want to put something back into the community, we have been in a position to go and ask and say, hey, please, can you help us with X, Y, or Z? And then to have those partnerships, to have you guys, Riverside, come along and say, hey, you know, can we support, can we work together, can we help? It's fantastic.
It's so exciting to see that for the first time in over 40 years, new homes have been built on North Bransholme. So far we have built 44 new homes, and we are looking forward to completing a further 11 properties on Savilworth Close.
We'd looked at improving the existing stock, but to really visually improve the area and to complement what we'd already done on the estate, it was really important to us that we looked at bringing some new build properties onto the area. We did a lot of work around retrofitting of properties, looking at boilers, energy efficient usage of new systems, gas installations for in excess of 200 properties. And basically all this was to try and look at affordability and affordable warmth for individuals that were living in those properties. That all really led up to us being nominated for a national award for the Sustainable Housing Awards 2013. We won the award for the National Large Retrofit for Sustainable Housing.
We've also sold 5 homes with Riverside's Own Place scheme. Own Place is an award-winning scheme to help first-time buyers get on the property ladder. But it's not all about the bricks and mortar. Bringing the neighbourhood together is really important to Riverside. The annual beach day gives us a chance to speak to as many residents as possible. We have created over 110 new employment opportunities for local people over the past 5 years. This includes employing local apprentices. Brian from Evolve is currently working with 2 apprentices, Kyle and Scott.
It is the ethos of Evolve to employ local people. Part of our commitment was to take apprentices and join our apprentice programme.
I do a bit of everything, from plastering to joinery to plumbing. I do pointing, masonry, everything that a multi-skilled should do, I'm doing.
I help testing void houses, empty houses, because when people move out, the full house has to be tested again.
For me personally, living around here, you get to know everyone from around here, and coming in this Riverside office, everyone's polite, they all speak to you, you get to know everyone.
I think they're going to make 2 first-class tradespeople, and got to be an asset to Evolve.
Our employment and training team are helping tenants and residents access volunteering, training and job opportunities.
Tenants, residents, non-tenants can all access our employment and training service via self-referral. If they were accessing the job centre or another work type programme, they can come through that way. We often find though that they come in and they self-refer. Predominantly we work with tenants on the estate, but we do work with non-tenants as well, and the service that we are providing quite well at the moment is around job searches, CV writing, getting them into some kind of training so that they upskill for jobs that come up.
We've had some on the estate recently for security guards, so we advertise those, we then sift through the CVs. Also help people if they come to me with the right kind of skills but not a very good CV. I'll make sure that their CV is good enough to kind of put forward to the employers. And then, like I say, the job clubs, which tend to be based around the estate at different venues, where people will come along, and I can work with anywhere up to about 5 or 6 people at one time, where they can all be on computers, and I can just be there in the background kind of helping if they've got any questions or need a bit of support when filling in application forms.
So people don't need to be unemployed to access our service. They can come along if they're doing 16 hours part-time and they want to increase those hours. We will look at what other opportunities there are out there for them and try and work with them to gain those extra hours for them. So that might be keeping their 16 hours and getting another small job or one full-time job, depending on what they want really.
Our Affordable Warmth Officer is assisting tenants to stamp out fuel poverty, and our Money Advisor is helping to lessen the impact of the government's Welfare Reform Act.
Hi Maria, how are you?
All right, thank you.
Oh, good. I just wondered if you could tell us about how you found out about the Money Advice service.
Well, I did get a letter stating that the council were giving funding for bedroom tax.
Yeah. We applied for it and you were successful, weren't you?
You know, and it was really good to know that somebody was there to help me.
Yeah. So I helped you out with a grant from the Helping Hands Fund. How did that help?
Brilliant, because I got the freezer broke, and I just rang up because I'd heard something about you could get something from Riverside, and then I got a letter saying it's been accepted, But when I rang you up, I thought I had to pay it back because I asked for a card.
Yeah.
And you said, no, we get that and brand new fridge freezer, you know, brilliant.
Yeah. If you hadn't have got one, would you have had to go to, I don't know, get a loan?
I couldn't have got a loan,
something?
obviously, because of my low income.
Yeah.
And it might have meant, say, getting it out of somebody's catalogue,
Yeah.
which you pay a lot
Yeah.
more for anyway.
Yeah, and you pay interest on it and
yeah,
everything.
I was just really pleased that it helped me out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We have introduced the Your Place team on the estate.
Your Place team is responsible for grass cutting, litter picking, picking up fly tipping, and generally just keeping the estate clean and tidy on a daily basis. If somebody rings up regarding a fly tip, within 24 hours I can get my team there, get it cleared. The junior wardens have volunteered to litter pick in school holidays. It's absolutely fabulous that they want to keep their area clean and tidy. Bags weighs the heaviest.
You could say the story all started with Urban. Set up in 1995, Urban is a community-led organisation that acts as the voice of the North Bransholme residents. Urban campaigned for many years for a new landlord for North Bransholme.
I took over a chair as Urban Residents Association, and we built that up. We went to the people and said, look, this is happening, there's been no investment, what do you want to do? Why we picked Riverside, it was because of the houses getting refurbished and all the environment, but they also address social issues, which is what our main concern is. And since Riverside has been here, it's one of the safest places in Hull to live. Now we've got the new houses built and they look beautiful. The old houses have all been refurbished and got some beautiful homes, and it's a joy to come on the estate now and see how it's blossoming.
They've really picked the estate up with the fencing, and the outside of the houses look better. The heating, central heating systems, bathrooms, kitchens, have the new skate park which we're on. And they've revitalised the kids' playing areas in the park. We think we did pick the best because Riverside have done a very good job up here.
Riverside's longer-term strategy for green spaces is now in its second phase.
Well, phase 2 of the environmental improvement programme focuses on improvements to the ash plantation, and also we're helping to fund a bridge between the North Bransholme neighbourhood and the Noddle Hill Nature Reserve. And we have had some problems with people fly tipping and littering and some antisocial behaviour. So what we'd like to do is put some fencing around the perimeter. We'd also like to do some tree maintenance as well. We need to strike that balance between tidying up, clearing and preserving the wildlife that this is here for. We'd also like to have some information boards with the animals and the trees that are actually in the ash plantation, so it can become a real education resource for the local schools. So the consultation has been very positive so far. We've had some really good suggestions coming forward that will help us refine and really firm up our specifications.
So this marks the end of Riverside's 5-year promise to North Bransholme, but it's really only the beginning of a long-term regeneration plan for the area. We can only imagine what the next 5 years will bring.
You name it, Riverside have got involved and done it.
It has changed. It has changed, and I would recommend people to come up here.
Really, what we asked of Riverside, they have delivered.
The future's looking very, very positive for North Bransholme. The challenge now is to look at how we maintain the momentum on the estate and make it more sustainable and an area that people want to live and want to stay living on this area.